Hey guys, welcome back. Thank you for joining me again today. Today's special. It's a very exciting day for me because the EC-256 is done. She is beautiful and she is awesome and she sounds fantastic. And so I'm going to go through with you, the things that we did over the last couple months, putting all this together to show you what I did and didn't do to this guitar to take it from an inexpensive import to one of my favorite guitars right now. This is a hard guitar to put down. So when this came to me, it was a mahogany body, mahogany neck. This is a veneer flame top. It's just there to look pretty, which is okay. And this reminded me of a Gibson Les Paul Jr. Special. Mahogany body, 2 pickups, and I thought maybe I should use this to get some nice vintagey Gibson-y tones out of it. I don't expect it to be a Gibson, but I don't have anything. You can see it behind me. I don't really have anything in this wheelhouse, so this was a great and expensive way to kind of mod out the guitar and take something that really, the Indonesian factory that put this guitar out, they really did outdo themselves. The neck feels great. The guitar itself was already a pretty fantastic guitar. So what did I have to do to improve it? Well, not that this was an improvement, but to start, we went with P90s. I wanted to get more of the classic Gibson tone, and so these are the Duncan Fat Cats. They are P90 pickups put into a humbucker housing. They are noisy. They are true single coils, which is okay, but they're not like they're not like a P90 look-alike or almost P90. They are P90s in a humbucker housing, and they sound fantastic. But what helped them along was not just the fact that I put them in here. I also went through and I changed all the pots, I changed all the switches, I changed the jack. So now everything is Switchcraft or CTS, all American made. And these are 300K pots, from 500 to 300K. The reason why is the 500Ks tend to be a little brighter, which is what you're looking for out of the Gibson because it's such a dark guitar. And anytime you have a mahogany body, they usually put 500K pots into the guitar. But what happens is when you put that much resistance in, your roll-off isn't as smooth. It tends to struggle a little bit. So these guys right here are, as fantastic as they are, as much as I love them, they are 300K, so they're still a little brighter than a 250K, but they roll a little nicer, so I can kind of go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 when I'm rolling off my volume to go a little cleaner. And that's my preference. That's something I started doing about a decade ago, and I haven't looked back. So by improving the electronics, I've really opened up everything. It's kind of like giving a new exhaust system to a nice V8. The other thing I did, the second thing I did, was we put a Tone Pros bridge on this guitar. You can see the video on that where we put the Tone Pros in. The Tone Pros, I talked a little bit about it, but it wasn't so much that this is a better bridge. Some of the most famous sounding guitars out there have some really inefficient, cheap bridges, but this is an efficient bridge. So because it has an ability to lock onto the pole pieces, it creates more contact. So it's more efficient in its transfer of sound. Is that better? Not necessarily. It's different. It's more efficient, but better? That's really a personal choice. I did this for 2 reasons. One, I like that more. I wanted it to be a little more efficient. It's going to add a little more punch to the guitar. And because I can lock this, every time I go to change strings, it's not going to fall off. Because I can. So we got pickups, we got the saddles, we got the electronics. I also, when this guitar came in, because it's something I know how to do, I did a whole fret job. I leveled all the frets, made sure everything was working nicely. What I did not do though is I did not give this guitar a new nut. This has still got the factory plastic nut, and really it was just a matter of, is it worth it? Do I really want to? I've decided to play it as is and take the time with it because it isn't bothering me. You know, will I get a better tone out of a bone nut? Maybe. More efficient? Yes. Better? We'll see. You know, you pick up a Gibson that's $4 on the wall at Guitar Center, it's still got a plastic nut on it. It's what they do. You know, I always prefer bone. I like Graphtec. And really, this is only changing the tone on the open strings. Once I go here, the nut's not in play anymore. So, will it be something I do eventually? Probably, especially because I am loving this guitar so much. I'm having so much fun with this guitar. It's just a player and it sounds great. So, eventually down the road, when I'm like short on projects, I'm like, oh, what should I do? I'll probably get around to this. One day when I'm changing strings, I'll say, hey, maybe I should put a new nut on the guitar. But it's something I'm going to do myself. I'm not going to pay someone else to do it. And with that being then a $10 charge, it's a lot of labor. And for right now, I haven't really felt the need to do that, which surprises me because usually the first thing I do is put a new nut on a guitar. But what I did do to the neck, and you can see the video on that, is I put a satin finish on the back of this baby. I really, really, really dislike the gloss. I'm actually contemplating right now, because this came out so nice, I may just go and degloss the whole thing just to give it that satin look and then keep the top glossy. If you think that that's a great idea, let me know. Put it in the comments, you know, something we can vote on. Do I go gloss or do I go satin all the way around the back? Keep the glossy top, satin back. Kind of reminds me a little bit more of a Gibson. I've been real tempted, and it's something I might do just for fun because I haven't done it before. I do a lot of necks, and now the neck is fast, it's quick, it still looks nice, but now it's you know, it's not, it doesn't get sticky and everything like that, and it doesn't really affect me down here, but for style purposes I think it would actually look pretty cool. So write me some comments, you know, get into this, tell me it's a good idea, tell me it's a stupid idea, let me know. But yeah, and then so I satin finished the neck, I did the grind and polish, I did the pickups, I did the electronics, I did the bridge, and that was it. I left the nut alone, as I just said. I also left the tuners alone, and here's why. And this is a really big one that is probably something that's good to have as a discussion. So for all you guys who stayed through to this video, this is a big one. Could I change these tuners? Yes. Do I need to change these tuners? Not really. What will I gain by changing these tuners? Absolutely nothing. These are inexpensive tuners. One of the telltale signs of this is actually, there's a line around here. These tuning pegs are all cast, which is really not as strong as milled, and it's not as nice as milled, and even just at a prestigious value, they're not very nice. They're not very expensive. They're made to be efficient as far as cost goes. That's why they cast them, because everything, all the scraps from the mill, they can melt them down, put them into a cast, chrome them up, and you're good to go. And for that, usually someone will come to me and say, I need new tuners. But the fact is, this guitar doesn't have a problem staying in tune. I don't have a problem tuning this guitar. And though maybe the tuners could feel a little smoother, they tune just fine. Because the nut was cut well, they're not getting stuck. so they're not, they're not staying too tight or, changing halfway through a song. And even my G string, the famous Gibson D and G string, those aren't an issue either. So I may, just because I am who I am, I may one day when a, right set of tuners comes along, I might pick them up secondhand and put them on the guitar again, because I really like this guitar. But I didn't do the tuners because I wasn't going to gain anything from them. And if you're going to go spend $60, $80, $100 on a set of tuners, I could, I spent the $100 on the pickups, and I spent another 50 something, give or take. Can't remember if it was 40 or if it was 60, but I spent my money on the pickups. I spent my money on the saddle where my tone always is, and I spent the money on the pots and the electronics. And I put my labor into the neck. So when it comes to that, think that one over. If the tuners are holding their tune, other than style, or maybe when you're turning them, if they feel cheap and it really bothers you, I understand. But you're really not going to get anything from them. And last but not least, the most important thing I did to this guitar, the thing that has changed the way this guitar sounds, the thing that has taken this from a lowly import to the king of all tones, is this guy right here. This is an actual metal toggle switch. This is a metal nickel toggle switch, and because this is metal and it is solid and has a better connection, when I make the switch, it adds tone to the guitar. No, I'm just kidding. Alright, but this was one of my favorite little things I did, just to, it's got a little weight to it, and it doesn't, when you toggle the plastic ones, you feel it. We're used to that. Once you do a metal toggle, it feels nice, and they're not overly expensive. So, alright, let's get to some of the sounds. Playing a clean E. That's the neck and the neck and the bridge. And if I put them in the middle, so it's awesome. I love the spank. And then it really gets nice and feels really bluesy. And it's got a nice color. I've got one of these P90s, one of these Fat Cat P90s in a Telecaster neck, and I love it, especially when you put the fuzz on there. Just fat, just woolly and awesome. So, and you hear that hum, that is because they are indeed, like I said, true single coils. So, but then also, one of the things I was most impressed with this guitar is, I was thinking vintage, I was thinking I would get that, old school kind of sound. And I know Phil X, I know Billy Joe Armstrong, I know there's a lot of guys that play like the Les Paul Jr. or something of that nature, like an SG body with a P90. I know there's a lot of guys out there that like the tones and sounds of these guitars. I did not realize, because I'm used to Strat single coils, I did not realize that this thing would light up on the overdrive so well. Just killer guitar. Love the pickups, and yeah, I think she came out great. So let me know what you think. Should I do the satin finish on the back of the guitar? Is there anything you disagree with me on what I did to this guitar? Again, beautiful part about doing something like this is, though I'm telling you I'm done now, it's kind of like a painting. I can always do one more thing. But this was the original plan. This was the plan. I assessed the guitar, figured out what it needed, and I mean, I couldn't be happier with the results. So, and it's my guitar, so it's a win-win for me. I hope this gave you something to think about. I hope this gave you something to chew on, maybe for your own guitar. And you know, let me know what you think in the comments. If there's something you think that I should have done to this guitar that I didn't do, let me hear it. I might just do it. Till next time, don't forget guitarcrate.com, and we'll see you for the next video.